Showing on this episode of Law Weekly highlights from the 6th Annual Conference of the Nigerian branch of the International Law Association as Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor Damilola Olawuyi, takes over as President of the ILA Nigerian branch. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Shola Shieli. Leading experts and stakeholders in international law have made a case for clear and comprehensive regulations to maximize the full value of modern technologies for the development of the economy and in a manner that respects and fulfills all international human rights. They made this recommendation at the 6th Annual Conference of the International Law Association Nigerian branch with the theme, The Role of International Law in the Regulation of New Technologies. The high point of the conference was the swearing-in of the new executives of the association under the leadership of the new president, Professor Damilola Olawuyi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Here are some of the highlights from that event.
The International Law Association, ILA, was founded in Brussels in 1873 under the leadership of a professor of international law, Professor Christine Chenkin. The association now has about 3,500 members in 45 national and regional branches around the world. The Nigerian branch is one of the young branches of the ILA. It was founded in 2014 with its pioneer president, King's Counsel and Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor Fidelis Odita. In line with the objectives of the ILA, the Nigerian branch provides an intellectual space for Nigerian scholars and practitioners to unearth, analyze, and resolve important questions in public and private international law, international diplomacy, and global governance. The 6th Annual Conference of the Nigerian branch of the ILA attracted several leading experts, stakeholders, and students of international law who all converged on the Lagos Court of Arbitration on Wednesday, the 19th of April. The hybrid event, which attracted over 300 participants, has the theme, The Role of International Law in the Regulation of New Technologies. The keynote speaker, Dr. Edward Kwankwa, the Assistant Director General, World Intellectual Property Organization, WIPO, Geneva, Switzerland, spoke about how countries and societies can harness modern technologies to advance sustainable development.
We all know for sure that the global economy is increasingly driven by innovation, and in this context, we see rapid advancements across diverse fields of technology, not just new technologies. And these advancements are happening at an unprecedented pace. That's the most important thing to recognize. They are happening at an unprecedented pace and ending up giving the international community new challenges. But at the same time we are getting these new challenges, we are also having new opportunities.
He also emphasized the need for stakeholders in international law, including ILA Nigeria, to collaboratively build capacity to holistically address ethical, efficiency, regulatory, and other multidimensional questions posed by metaverse, big data, artificial intelligence, and other new technologies.
The multidimensional nature of these challenges that we are facing through these new technologies are such that it's clear we have to deal with them at a national level as well as at an international level. And by the same token, when it comes to international organizations, there is no way a single international organization can profess to be able to deal with new technologies in isolation of other international organizations. So whether you are WIPO or you are the International Telecommunications Union, you have to know you must operate in tandem with other similarly placed organizations, because it's quite clear the existing architecture of international organizations that we have today was definitely not designed to handle the multidimensional questions posed by new technologies. And whether it is through the protection of intellectual property rights, whether it is through the promotion of ethical and sustainable practices, whether it is through any other means, it's the international law that is essential. It's essential in ensuring that the international community as a whole shares the benefits of these new technologies, and this can only be for the common good. I would encourage all of you and you luminaries, whether legal or not, to understand that speaking through the Nigerian branch of the International Law Association. The rest of the international community is eagerly looking up to you to see what suggestions you come up with. You are the ones who identify and use those new technologies. You are the ones who know what the international law says. You are the ones who know what the applicable regulations are. And maybe this is one area where we don't necessarily need to rush to try and regulate the technologies. Let's first try and understand those technologies. Because right now, if you talk to 10 different people and ask them about the metaverse, you may end up getting 10 different answers on what is meant by the metaverse. I suspect Google's understanding of the metaverse is very different from Yahoo's understanding of the metaverse. So it's up to us as scholars, as legal and non-legal luminaries, to try and help shape the understanding of that technology in order to be able effectively to condition or to regulate that technology.
The conference also featured a robust exchange of questions, ideas, and suggestions, a debate session between students, as well as panel discussions by leading practitioners on how multinational technology platforms can be effectively regulated.
It's an evolving situation. Co-regulation is the only possible option to deal with all these issues.
The high point of the conference was the swearing-in of the new executives of the association by the outgoing president. The new executives will serve under the leadership of the new president, Professor Damilola Olawiyi. Professor Olawiyi is an expert of energy and environmental law. He has practiced and taught law in Europe, North America, Asia, Africa, and the Middle East, and has authored several influential articles, books, and reports on the role of international law in extractive resource governance.
My first act as president of the branch is to announce that effective immediately, we have established the Professor Fidelis Odito Prize in International Law. This prize will provide full sponsorship to one or more young members of the branch to attend the Global ILA conference, starting with the one that will be held in Paris, France this June.
While reacting to his emergence as president, Professor Olawiyi unveiled some of the new initiatives of his administration.
The Professor Fidelis Odito Prize is just one out of the many more initiatives that we will be announcing in the next few weeks. The new Executive Council is highly committed to propelling our branch to the desired next level of global impact. And like I always say, it is no accident at all that our country has produced 3 former judges of the International Court of Justice, several members of the International Law Commission, several UN independent experts, several executive heads of UN agencies. I think by what we plan to do is that we will continue to accentuate rigorous research, publications, training, and public dialogue, such that we will have another chance in this country to relive that proud history and produce the next Charles Onyema, the next Professor Teslim Elias, and the next Prince Bola Ajibola of blessed memory now, and of course the next Chief Bayo Ojo, a former Attorney General of the Federation and former member of the International Law Commission. International law has become so important with the challenges facing our world, whether you are talking about the problem of climate change, the invasion of Ukraine, water, energy, food poverty, the challenge of maximizing the value of intellectual property in a manner that fulfills international law, as we've been discussing today. We need more vibrant and talented Africans that we, like our guest speaker of today, Dr. Edward Kwakwa, who will dedicate themselves to propagating Africa's interests at the global stage.
The chairman of the conference planning committee says the ideas and suggestions from this event will go a long way towards improving the work of the association.
So part of what we expect at the end of this event is to have a communique officially issued by the International Law Association Nigerian branch as ILA Nigeria, that will include some of the thoughts from today going towards the regulators, especially because we expect that part of the themes that we expect from today is to hear about a lot of collaboration between the private sector and the public sector. And so I think having a communique that sort of embodies all of those thoughts together, that the regulators can go back and draw on, will be something very useful. So I would say that that's something to expect.